It is said that in the swamps of Louisiana, when the fog covers the fields, the creaking of chains can still be heard. They are not the sounds of ships or prisons, but the wailing of a spirit that has never found rest. They call him Ezekiel, the slave of Whitney Plantation, a man who dared to defy the cruelty of his time and paid the highest price for his bravery. More than 200 years ago, Whitney Plantation was known for its endless fields of sugarcane. But behind its prosperous facade lay stories that no book dared to tell. The foreman, a man whose name was erased in shame, had a sick obsession, breaking the spirit of those who dared to look up. And Ezekiel, tall and strong as an oak, never bowed his head. One stormy night, when lightning cut across the sky like whips of lightning, they decided to make an example of him. They dragged him to the old barn, where the chains became his final prison. The flames began small, like fiery serpents dancing through the straw. But they soon grew into an inferno that consumed everything in its path. Ezekiel's cry, the former slaves say, wasn't one of pain. It was a promise. From then on, the barn became a place without God's blessing. The workers swore they heard the scraping of chains on rotten wood, and some claimed to have seen a towering figure with skin blackened by fire and eyes that glowed like burning embers. The plantation ceased operations as an agricultural establishment around 1975. After that year, the site fell into disuse, its structures gradually deteriorating. It was later sold to an industrial corporation that did not use it for historical or conservation purposes. In 1999, attorney John Cummings purchased the property and undertook extensive restoration work, investing millions of dollars and spending approximately 15 to 20 years rehabilitating the plantation into a museum. Finally, the Whitney Plantation opened to the public as a museum in December 2014. Over the years, the stories persisted. Curious visitors who venture near the old barn always report the same experience. At 3:13 in the morning, when the world seems to stand still, the ritual begins. First, there are the footsteps, heavy and methodical, as if someone were dragging a heavy weight. Then comes the unmistakable sound of a rusty padlock being unlocked. And finally, the voice. A deep voice, raspy like coal against metal, whispers a blood-curdling question. Will you help me remove these chains? Or would you rather wear them? Local residents warn that responding with even a simple no is dooming. Those who have done so wake up with iron marks on their wrists, a permanent reminder of their encounter. But the most disturbing thing isn't the pain or the scars. It's knowing that Ezekiel isn't seeking revenge against the living. What he's seeking is something deeper, more human, companionship in his eternal damnation. So if your steps ever lead you to the swamps of Louisiana, and you find an old barn with fire marks on its walls, remember these words: don't enter, don't listen, and most of all, don't answer when you hear your name called in the dark. Because Ezekiel is still waiting, and the chains he drags have room for one more. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more stories about the hidden mysteries of our history. And remember, some chains are heavier than iron, and some fires never go out. Would you dare to visit the Whitney Plantation barn? Let me know in the comments, but be careful not to let it get too late until 3:13 a.m., because at that time, Ezekiel reads every answer. Don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe, and tell me what other legends you want us to revive here at Dark World Whispers, Susurros del Mundo Oscuro.